everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Now, as a little backstory, I got this car at the end of November 2022, where it had been sat in a barn for 19 years off the road. It had been owned by an older gentleman who'd had it from brand new, so I'm only the second owner. So what I had to do with this car was basically give it a full refresh and recommission it for the road. That involved a lot of work: brakes, suspension, cooling system overhaul, new fuel tank, loads of bits and bobs, including a carburetor rebuild as well. And that was fun because that was my first carburetor rebuild. But basically it meant that I had a lot of fun doing this thing up, and it was a great project and a great challenge for somebody who considers themselves an amateur home mechanic. Now, for those who aren't regular watchers or listeners of the Radiator Arms podcast, my name is Will, and today I've got some big news for you. The faithful Maestro is up for sale and will be probably gone by the time you see this video, which has left me with some very mixed emotions, if I'm honest. Now, why is the Maestro going, you may also ask? Well, the reason for that is because I've got some great friends. James and Anthony, you may have seen already on the main channel, JayEmm Cars. They surprised me with a beautiful Mercedes W124 Coupe, which is one of my dream cars. And I couldn't be more thankful for that gift. But it did mean I had a few too many cars on the driveway, and one of them couldn't stay. Now, it's worth noting that I'd actually been discussing with the boys and on the podcast as well that I was thinking of moving this car on to a new home. And why would I want to do that when I've spent so much time working on the car and I've had so much fun with it? Well, I'm a big believer that we as car owners should be custodians of our vehicles. I don't like to think myself as an owner. I like to think of myself as somebody who is looking after my cars and making sure they stay in good shape, good working order, and also it means when I'm done with them, they can go on, they can have a new life and make new memories with a new owner. So why out of all three of the cars must it be the Maestro? Well, obviously the Golf is my daily driver, and I think anybody with any car collection needs one sensible daily driver that can do it all. Obviously the Mercedes is a car that is just a dream. That'll never go anywhere, and even if it does, it'll always stay in the JayEmm family. But this particular one, I believe, has served its purpose for me. In fact, this is my second Maestro. I'll take you back in time a little bit. My first Maestro was my Apple 2000 Maestro that I got in 2022. And it was a bit of a rough car. I think I paid about £500 for that from memory, and spent a few £100 getting it on the road and getting it MOT'd. And that was when I met James the first time. I sent him an email saying, hey, I've got this old Maestro. They're pretty rare. There's not much about them on YouTube. Did you want to take it for a drive? And he said, well, yes. But the problem with that Maestro was that it was quite rotten. It did have some issues. There was a lot of hidden rust. And at the end of the day, that became a parts car for this car. Now, I always knew that a Maestro wasn't going to be the car I had forever. It was always one that was going to be a stepping stone to my next classic car, which happened to come a lot earlier than I thought in the form of the Mercedes. So why is it somebody would have not only one, but want to have two Maestros? Well, do you know what? These things are actually a lot of fun, and they are so rare to see on the road. Other than my own, I have never seen another single Maestro in all my travels with them in the flesh. There's probably only about 200 to 300 of them left taxed in the country right now, so they are incredibly low numbers wise. Now, there's also something quite fun about owning a car that perhaps was not that well received by the public, and if I'm honest, this car didn't get a lot of love back in the day when it was new, but they've got rare to a point where people actually find them interesting now. Because you can pull up to many meets and you'll see lots of different makes and models cars, but you're not going to see a Maestro. So from a coolness factor, a classic car like this is actually quite fun, and it's quite interesting to own. You really can't go anywhere without somebody flashing you or somebody stopping you at a petrol station to have a conversation. And I tell you what, that's something you've got to be prepared for when you drive this car, is conversations. Now, the universe has a way sometimes of telling you that it is time to get rid of a car. And as sad as it is, all the memories I've got with this thing are going to stay with me forever. And one of the reasons this car is very important to me is because of the two great friendships I've made with it. And that, of course, is James and Ant. Now, this car opened the doors for me to get talking to James even more and regularly converse with him. You know, I sent him updates on the Maestro when I first got it, and we had some chats. And then if you've watched the Radiator Arms podcast, you'll know from there I started doing some computer work with him, and then I started helping him host meets, and we've just become great friends from there. And this car had a big part of it. You know, I got Ant out in this car and he got to enjoy it and he got to experience it. And obviously James has now, on the same day as this, shot a video for his main channel where he's going to be talking about this car and his thoughts and feelings on it. And yeah, there's just something about a vehicle which is a little bit interesting and a little bit rare that can help bring you together with people. What am I going to miss about this car? I'm going to miss the fact it is so old school, it is so analog, it's just like nothing you see on the road anymore. Nothing out there that's modern looks like this, for better or for worse. You know, you got the no power steering, you got the 4-speed gearbox, you got that 68 horsepower A-series engine. It's just the styling, it's just everything about it is so retro, and that's one of the things I loved about it. As somebody who is big into 80s and 90s, like tech, cars, music, it was just one of those things that I had to own and will forever hold a special place in my heart. But do you know what? As this is my last drive in the car, I think it's only fair that we very quickly, out on the JayEmm test route, work that 4-speed gearbox, work all that 68 horsepower, safely of course, one last time, and give it a good send-off. Down in a second. It's not fast, but it just loves to go, and with those MGF wheels and with that lowered suspension, you can chuck it into a corner and it just goes through. Yes, you're bouncing and rocking all over the place, the car is rattling, making noises, but it's raw. It's such a raw experience. It's not one you want to live with for several hours on a go, I must say, but I'm having fun, and I hope whoever gets this next is really going to have the same amount of fun that I did with it. You know, getting to take it to all these places that I've been, family trips out, you know, with the wife, with the in-laws, with, you know, siblings and stuff like that, you know, with my nieces and nephews, we've been out in it, and I just think there's nothing more fun for somebody to experience than an old rattling car that makes noise and just sits there and almost throws your spine out, but whee! So I just wanted to pull up on the first bit of tarmac the wheels ever turned on this car. The first place I ever did a little bit of a test drive, which is my drive, which takes me to my work unit. I just wanted to reflect on all the opportunities I've had so far, not just with this car, but with the JayEmm Friends channel, with YouTube, with the Radiator Arms podcast, with two of my now closest friends, James and Ant, and just say that I feel so fortunate that people have come here and they want to watch little old me make silly videos on this old thing, and obviously on my Golf, on the Mercedes, and all the nice comments that people leave, and, you know, all the people that message me on Instagram, send the emails in that I speak to at the shows and the meets that are just so nice and so kind. And I really can't help but think, without this car and without my love and passion for cars like this, that this probably would have never happened. And it's one of the reasons I'm going to be so sad to see it go. But as I mentioned, cars have stories. Cars have many different owners and get to be loved by many people in their lives if the car is lucky. And this is one of those cars I'm hoping is going to make somebody smile just as much as me. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that watches these videos of me playing with the cars, and thank you to everybody that listens to the Radiator Arms podcast. Remember, new episodes go live here every Monday morning at 7 a.m. And until the next video, I want to say thank you very much, and I want to say goodbye to Fred the Maestro. Missed, but not forgotten. Bye-bye now.